Good Saturday morning from the world's most famous arena, everybody, and welcome to Big East Shootaround. We have a loaded episode from MSG today. John Fanta here with you, and coming up in just moments, we have a one-on-one with Marquette head coach Shaka Smart. The Golden Eagles will get to sit and watch today. They're back in action 2 Eastern time on Sunday, taking on a top 20 Xavier team, which should be a big one in Milwaukee. We'll get to Marquette in just a moment. Also on today's show, we have an Ask the Experts segment with 3 beat reporters from 3 different Big East teams. Who would be their player of the year? Who would be their coach of the year right now? All those questions and more, and we'll have some bracketology talk as well. Let's get to headlines. How about those Marquette Golden Eagles? They have won 5 in a row after an 0-3 start to Big East play. Justin Lewis was the hero on Wednesday night, scoring 21 points, tallying 7 rebounds, and coming up with a game-winning 3 as Marquette won at the Finneran Pavilion for the first time in 10 tries. A 57-54 triumph, a signature moment in year 1 of the Shaka Smart tenure, and for Marquette, now in the top 40 firmly of the net rankings, and looking like an NCAA tournament team in every way. They're projected right now on the 7 line in Mike DeCourcy's bracketology. Headline number 2, the Friars have returned to the hardwood. Providence back in action on Thursday evening and getting a win over Georgetown to go to 15-2 on the season. Some historical perspective as Providence will host Butler on Sunday at noon Eastern time on FS1. The Friars haven't been 16-2 in a season since 1977-78. This is really something special happening in Friartown, and Providence showed early on in setting the tone against Georgetown just how much experience they have. The fact that it can be different options, from Nate Watson, who holds things down low, Noah Horkler, his timely shooting, and the defense of Justin Minaya, as well as others. Providence is for real and continues to show it. Headline number 3, the Creighton Blue Jays may have a different look, but they took care of business at home earlier this week in a pivotal matchup with St. John's, who will be in action with Seton Hall. We'll get to that in a bit. Creighton rolling past the Red Storm from basically tip to buzzer, and the Blue Jays got a career night from Alex O'Connell. 28 points for O'Connell. The dynamic freshman Arthur Kaluma added 20. As the Blue Jays move to 3-2 in Big East play, today they welcome in DePaul, 5:30 Eastern time on CBS Sports Network. Creighton, a team that was picked 8th in the Big East, and here they are looking like an NCAA tournament team in each way. The Jays and those Marquette Golden Eagles have surprised a lot of people. They are certainly turning heads. But we talk about Marquette, and Shaka Smart has engineered quite a turnaround of this program already in year 1. I caught up with him on Friday. It's great to have Marquette head coach Shaka Smart with us, taking a couple of minutes from the car, and we appreciate you, Shaka, after quite the moment earlier this week, a 3-point win at Villanova at the Finneran Pavilion. Describe what it was like to come out on top over the Wildcats.
It was a lot of fun. The whole game was fun. You know, you get in those games, and just to get a chance to be part of the competitive atmosphere in a place like that is a great experience. And our guys just did a great job staying together. That was the biggest thing. We emphasized, there's only one way to come in here and have a chance to win, and that's together.
How much does Justin Lewis embody that togetherness?
Well, he did a great job on Wednesday because, anytime you play in a game like that, there's a lot of twists and turns. And, there's some stuff that doesn't go your way. And there's some, plays that certainly you'd love to have back as a team. But he just hung in there, stayed connected with his teammates, stayed connected with his coaches. And, at the end of the game, he wanted the ball in his hands. And his teammates wanted the ball in his hands. And that's always a special feeling as a coach when everybody wants it to go to the same guy.
I want to flash back a couple weeks. And January 1st, you play an epic game with Creighton. That it's Big East basketball. You just happen to be on the wrong end of it, of a back-and-forth affair. At that point, you're 0-3 in Big East play. What was said and done in that moment, following that game and the ensuing days, that has led this group to 5 straight victories?
Nothing really magical, John, to be honest with you. I mean, we always talk about response being your ability to focus on the next most important thing. So, that was a tough loss. The opening Big East game at Xavier and then the ensuing game against UConn were tough losses. But the reality is in all three of those games, in the last 4 minutes of the game, we were in position, if we played well enough to win the game, and we didn't. So biggest thing was, hey, guys, we got to be better at the very end. We've got to get some crucial stops when it's most important. And we were playing really good teams, so we knew that, if we just got a little bit better, a little bit more connected, we were going to continue to be in position to win, and we were going to be able to go grab some of those wins.
Shaka, over the last 4 games, Greg Elliott has averaged 14 points per game. How much of an X factor is he to this group?
He's huge because, he's the best shooter on our team. He has a lot of confidence. The guys have a lot of confidence in him. And he gives our team a level of poise and aggressiveness on offense that we don't have when he's not in the game. And, him being a fifth-year player, he's very smart. He's our best inbounder. He's our second best passer after Tyler. So there's just so many things he adds to our team.
Right now in the Big East, you know this better than anybody coming off the Villanova game, and you've faced a couple of top 20 opponents and defeated them in the last couple of weeks. You get another one on Sunday, and there's 6 teams in the top 35 of the net rankings. So you have Xavier coming into your building on Sunday, riding the momentum. I guess for you, Shaka, how much is a potential atmosphere that you have on Sunday, a crucial Big East game, and a rematch against Xavier, who held serve when they faced you? How much is this what you hope for and envision when you take this job at Marquette, to have another opportunity and to have momentum in front of your home fans?
Well, my college coach used to say it's too late to cancel. So we're sure as heck not going to cancel the game. We're excited about playing. Xavier's got a heck of a team. They've been terrific all year. I believe they're undefeated in our conference against everybody except Villanova. So, yep. It's incumbent upon us to, play tougher, play more aggressively, and play with more intelligence than we played the first time around. Now, that was December 18th. We've been through a lot of twists and turns. We've learned a lot of lessons since then. I'm sure Xavier has as well. So it'll be a heck of an opportunity. And you mentioned the atmosphere. We're very excited to be on our home floor, Fiserv Forum. We're very excited about this being a special game, honoring Dr. Lovell and all other people that are battling cancer and doing a gold out.
A really special gold out for Dr. Lovell, and we send our thoughts and prayers out to him. And Marquette Nation, so strong for him, just like he is for them day in and day out. Shaka, I'll leave you with this. Your first month just facing off with guys like Jay Wright and Kevin Willard, Dan Hurley, Ed Cooley. What's that first taste been like over this first month of Big East basketball?
Those guys are great. They're great coaches. Just phenomenal competitors. They've done a terrific job, respectively, with each of their programs. Honestly, it's a little bit like the frying pan into the fire, man. I was dealing with Bill Self and Bob Huggins and Scott Drew. The Big East, Big 12, I'm a guy that played at Kenyon College Division III, man. So, just having an opportunity to be in these kind of leagues and these kind of games, I'm really, really grateful.
Shaka Smart, best of luck on Sunday against the Musketeers. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
This is what it's all about. From the heart of New York City, the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden.
And the fans feel it. The energy in the building right now is phenomenal.
And here we go.
How about that? Dropping dimes.
They are playing ball.
Crashing the glass.
Listen to this crowd in the Big East Championship. Old school basketball
For the win. Yeah!
We thank Shaka Smart for the time. Marquette part of an FS1 doubleheader on Sunday. At noon is Providence welcoming in Butler. That'll be followed by number 20 Xavier visiting Marquette. All right, let's turn to bracketology. Right now in Mike DeCourcy's latest FS1 Hoops bracket forecast, you've got a situation where there are 7 Big East teams that are projected to dance. And nobody has a double-digit seed. Nobody really on the bubble right now. Villanova as a 3 seed leads the way. Providence on the 4 line. And then you've got a pair of 6s, Xavier and Connecticut. How about Creighton and Marquette jumping up to the 7 line? A couple weeks ago, they were thought to be around the bubble, but they've done more than enough work to get there. And it's this Seton Hall team that is in action at noon Eastern time against St. John's that is currently on the 8 seed line. Pirates 2-4 in Big East play. A critical 48-hour stretch with the Red Storm begins here this afternoon at the Garden. But let's ask the experts about this conference. We pulled 3 of them. Adam Baum from the Cincinnati Enquirer covers Xavier. Charlotte Carroll covers UConn for The Athletic. And Kevin McNamara, co-host of This Week in the Big East on Westwood One. What do they think of this league? Let's get to it. Charlotte, if you had to decide on a Big East Player of the Year thus far, where are you going?
Adama Sanogo. I know that's a little biased coming from the UConn reporter, but I think looking at the impact that he's had for the Huskies and when he's playing versus when he's not, this team really relies on him, and the experience that the Huskies got without him on the floor is going to be invaluable come down the stretch. But he really kind of pieces it all together, and you could kind of see that in the Auburn game, which is huge, looking at them going down the stretch. So Adama at the moment.
Kevin?
I'm going with the blue blood, Colin Gillespie. I know they stubbed their toe last night against Marquette, but until the big dog gets torn down, I'm riding there. I will say, if there is a wild card coming up on the outside right now, it's Justin Lewis of Marquette. I mean, look at what they've done in the last 2 weeks, the opportunity they have in the next week and a half. Doesn't matter what ranked team is in front of them, they seem to be knocking them down.
Marquette's won 5 in a row, now 5-3 in Big East play. Very much a factor. Adam, where do you go with Player of the Year in the Big East at the moment?
I like what Charlotte said. I like what Kevin said. I think the cool thing about the Player of the Year race is it's a little like the league race at this point. It feels a little bit more wide open than maybe it did coming into the season. I probably lean a little bit more towards Colin Gillespie, but you think about it and there's a lot that still needs to be decided. So, I think Sanogo, I've been really impressed with him as well. So I think those would be 2 really good options. And the crazy thing about Sanogo is I don't think he was even recognized on the preseason All Big East team. And here's a guy that has UConn looking like a really tough team. So, but yeah, Justin Lewis would be a good one as well. And then if Providence figures it out and they can make a run, you got to start talking about Nate Watson at some point too.
Your Big East Coach of the Year at the moment.
Right now it's Cooley or Shaka. It means nothing at this point. We haven't played enough games, obviously. But if you tell me which of those 2 is going to finish higher, I believe Providence was preseason 7,
yes.
Marquette preseason 8. So flip a coin between those 2 at this point.
Marquette preseason 9.
9.
I mean, really something. And hey, the preseason 8 team we haven't even mentioned is Creighton. Greg McDermott's done a very nice job with the Blue Jays. So, Charlotte, you have to be the judge here. You have to pick one coach. Who are you picking?
At this point, I'm going Shaka, just because of how unexpected Marquette's been able to pull everything out. I don't know. It's just crazy to think that this is year 1 and this is what we're getting. And those big wins, the Illinois one earlier this season, which is looking better and better as the year goes on. And then last night at Nova was just, wow. That's a statement win for the program.
All right, Adam, you're first up here. Your biggest surprise in Big East play.
I think a big reason why the Big East is kind of turning heads this year is because of what they've gotten from Marquette and Providence and Creighton. Those teams that not a lot of people thought much of going into the season, they've really exceeded expectations. To me, that's been the big storyline is those type of teams have really given the Big East some depth and some punching power. I've been really impressed what the kind of the middle of the road teams have done so far, and they've really elevated the conference as a whole.
What storyline in the league are you paying very closely attention to?
Well, I think a storyline, not only in the Big East, but around college basketball, but especially in the Big East, the impact of transfers. The Big East, you think of every single one of these teams, from Providence with Al Durham and Justin Minaya to Xavier with Nunji, who's really good. Marquette, half the team is transfers. I believe they only brought back 3 guys. Creighton with Alex O'Connell. I know that was last year, but it's kind of a half of last year. In this day and age, if you don't have impact transfers, I don't think you can be good. It's as simple as that. Go to the very top. Baylor, Auburn, the very top of the country is like that. Certainly the case in the Big East as well.
How should the conference, its followers, its programs, at this point, knowing that so much comes down to March, what would be viewed as a successful season for the league?
Yeah, I think it's not out of the question to see 3 Big East teams make the second weekend of the NCAA tournament. Now, again, I think we're at a point right now where it's like it is still really early on in the conference race. So it'll be interesting to see who really emerges because, like, for instance, I cover Xavier, and I already mentioned I don't think they put their best basketball together. They've played Villanova twice. They really haven't seen UConn. They haven't seen Providence. They haven't seen Seton Hall. There's a lot of high-end teams in the Big East that still have yet to even play each other. So I think we're still going to learn a lot more about this conference. But I agree with Kevin. I think right now 6 teams looks like a lock. Creighton could be that 7th team. I think that in and of itself would be a really big success for the league to get 7 teams in. But I also think that there's a few teams that look like second weekend teams in the NCAA tournament to me at this point.
Does more crazy late night games count as a vision of success? Just the amount of games, I think I tweeted it yesterday, it feels like every game is going down to the wire. And I think if that can continue the remainder of February, that really speaks to the level of play that the Big East has this year. Granted, it will be measured, and like Adam had said, second weekend of the tournament, but just to keep it that competitive for an extended stretch, I think will tell us a lot about how competitive this league is this year.
Kev, a parting thought on that aspect?
Yeah, John, this league has been going now for almost 10 years. Multiple teams, second weekend. Somebody not named Villanova in the Final Four. I'll sign up for that.
Go Bengals, John.
We won't debate on who has the best food of you 3 in your respective city.
It's not even up for discussion, John. You know that.
We welcome you to Manhattan and the Big East tournament.
Here at the Garden, decibel levels will be high.
This is going to be a good one, folks. 2 Big East powers.
You got to be strong.
And that will do it. The Musketeers.
Oh, how about that?
And the jam.
Well, we thank all 3 of those insiders for their perspective. It is going to be quite the march to this building, which will be rocking March 9th to the 12th for the 40th Big East tournament inside Madison Square Garden. And it'll be great to have people back in the stands for it. This league, as you can see, loaded with NCAA tournament teams. It's anybody's ball game once we get here to the Mecca. For the 107th time, St. John's and Seton Hall meet here this afternoon, and it comes at a critical moment for both these teams in their respective seasons. The Red Storm picked 4th in the Big East preseason poll, but they have yet to put up a quadrant 1 win. They've yet to really find that signature moment. Could a rivalry renewal serve as the turning point? They look to bounce back from a loss to Creighton, and what I zone in on is Posh Alexander and the sophomore's ability to really control a game. So he controls things for the Red Storm, but on the flip side for Seton Hall, the key variable this year has been that point guard play. We saw Cooks, Kadari, Richmond come up huge for the Hall just 2 Saturdays ago in that big overtime win over Connecticut. Bryce Aiken has made plenty of clutch shots for the Pirates this season, and last week was excellent at Marquette in that nail-biter of a defeat to the Golden Eagles, who have been red hot. So for the Seton Hall team, 2-4 in the Big East. St. John's 2-3 in league play. Both these teams in need of a W. It's a metropolitan rivalry, and it's the first of 2 games between these two teams in just a matter of 3 days, with the return Monday night inside Walsh Gym as we go back in time to the 1980s. It's a big one here between the Red Storm and the Pirates, and it comes your way at noon Eastern time on FS1. Also at noon over on Fox, Georgetown and Villanova. Rivalries aplenty at high noon in the Big East. Thanks for catching us here on Big East Shootaround. Enjoy the action, everybody. I'm John Fanta signing off for now from the world's most famous arena.